Hello there, and welcome to the Marketing SOS Show. I'm your host, Eric Yee, and this is a show where I help you, or listeners like yourself, with whatever marketing-related questions that you have, business-related questions, whatever they are, no matter how big, no matter how small, whatever you got, I'm here for you. So drop me a line at eric@marketingsos.ca, and who knows, you could be on an upcoming episode of the show. Now, for those of you listening in real time, we're still here in March and April, going through the COVID-19 crisis with the virus spreading across North America like crazy. Now, hopefully those of you listening in the future, things are peachy clean and everyone's healthy and not wearing face masks to the supermarket. But I'm trying to keep this a little bit relevant to what's going on right now. And, it could be relevant in the future as well with today's question from Marcus, who is wondering, how do you do social media right now with all that's going on? Do you appear tone deaf? How do you structure your messages? Do you just pretend everything's normal and fine? It's a very tough question. There's probably no right answer to how to do this, depending on your industry. But regardless of what your industry is or when you're listening to this message, I think it's going to be a good lesson to how to deal with things, especially if there's things going on in your industry or things going on in the world. How do you keep a sense of normalcy? Or do you not? So I think it's going to be an interesting question to really help us explore how to talk to people and how to communicate at this time and other times like in the future. So let's hear from Marcus just after this. So Marcus writes, "Hi Eric, I'm in a bit of a predicament here. What are the social media norms at a time like this? Is it all right to go without talking about the elephant in the room, coronavirus? Or do we keep mourning the loss of our social lives and be focused on topics such as social distancing and work from home, etc.? Marcus." So Marcus, this is a great, very topical question, and one that I think a lot of marketers are struggling to deal with right now. A lot of it depends on what industry you're in and what your usual cadence is. Like, for example, if you're in the medical field, I can see it largely being COVID-19 related due to most of your followers also being in that field and interested in the largest health crisis of our time. For the rest of us, not in that field, you can acknowledge the elephant in the room that is coronavirus or COVID-19, but you don't need to focus on it in your messaging. Now, if you want to and you feel it's appropriate, you can sprinkle in messages about social distancing while getting back to your regular content, or find some way to put them together and have one piece of content. Now, yes, we do need to address this and make sure everyone knows what's going on. And at the same time, COVID-19 is everywhere right now. People will still want and need to escape from it and want some kind of normal. It's all over the TV. It's all anyone's talking about. It's plastered on the front of every news site everywhere. It's all COVID-19 everything. So people are probably exhausted from it, and they still want those social outlets, and they don't want to see it everywhere. You can only tell people so many times to wash their hands. People get it, or they should have gotten it by now, at least. Now, while it might be good to keep hammering home the message, and I think that might be a responsible thing to do, that doesn't need to be everything that you do. You do need to be careful here about not being too tone deaf. Like, many of your potential followers could be out of work, and if you're pushing a hard sell too often, it's not going to connect, and it could backfire. With some people on unemployment or having to stay home and getting laid off, it's a tough time for everybody. So you may need to scale things back in terms of hard selling or trying to really push sales, which again doesn't help you or your company. And this, at the same time, you don't want to be too tone deaf depending on what your industry you're in. So for example, if you're in the restaurant or travel business, it's not the best time to get back to regular content. You can't send people offers or ask them to take action at the moment. You will need to shift your focus to other messaging. Now, this could be different if you have different sources of revenue, like delivering food. Now, perhaps look for ways that your current situation can color your content, but not be the focus or the core message. Like if you're a web conferencing software company, you don't need to mention the virus, but you could talk about the new normal you're all facing and how you're here to help. Now, Marcus, it's kind of tough to answer this one without knowing more about your audience and what your business is. I mean, there's a lot of possible answers here. Now, use what I've said to help guide you forward to find the best solution for your specific situation. Marcus, thank you so much for writing in. It's a great question. A lot of people are struggling with it, as you see on social media. A lot of people are going way overboard on COVID-19 stuff. Some are pretending that nothing's happening and going about their merry way. We also have to remember that no one is sitting there really reviewing all of your social content. So they might not get all the messages that you're putting out. So no one's going to judge you based on everything you're publishing. They're only going to see those certain posts that get in front of them. Now this also makes it a challenge, right? Because, you don't seem tone deaf. So honestly, my personal preference is just like with promotional posts, you need to give value to people. So sprinkle things in here and there. Maybe 1 in every 5 posts, COVID-19, or is colored by COVID-19. And the rest can get back to normal, except if that normal is offensive or going to piss people off with the current situation that they're living through. Staying at home, losing money, not being able to go out with their friends, not being able to spend money and buy things. Got to be cognizant of that. So I leave it to you and to everyone else out there listening of how you're going to do this and how you're going to structure your messages. But one thing I would love from you, if you could so happen to do it, is to leave this show a ratings and review in Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you listen to podcasts. It helps the show grow and helps me keep doing it for you in the future. So please, if you could do that, that'd be awesome. And like I said, I'm here for you. Marketing or COVID-19 related, whatever it is, drop me a line at eric@marketingsos.ca. I'm here for you, so you might as well use me. And with that, it's time to wrap this sucker up. Thank you so much for listening. My name is Eric E., and with that, I am out.